while recording this video, I just realized I hit 50 subscribers, and that's really amazing. So if you aren't subscribed, make sure you are to be notified of my future uploads. Thank you all so much. Goodbye. Enjoy the video. And in this video, we're gonna make sure that our tiny little red square does not jump off into oblivion. So let's get straight into that. So we want to check to make sure that our player does not jump off into oblivion. We want to make sure that the player is touching the ground. And as of right now, we have no concept of what the ground is other than its name. And it'll be really inconvenient to name everything in our code to say if we're colliding with an object that has the name ground, because we might have another square that we cannot name ground, and it'll get confused and the code will get messy. So that's not an efficient way, nor is it a good way to do it anyways. So an easier way of doing this is with layers. Now, I haven't introduced layers in my previous course for Unity's beginner topics, but essentially what a layer is, it's just a way to separate out different game objects with each other. So what I can do is I can click on this ground, I can click on layer, I can hit add layer, and here we can just type in the name, which could be ground. And now when we head over back into the ground, we can hit the layers again, and now we can see that we've added a layer called ground. We can just hit ground and boom, now this game object is separated. We now have a concept of what ground is. Ground is anything with the layer of ground. Alright, so that's all the setup we really need. So let's get straight into the coding. Now, the coding is really very simple. It's just one line of code and it's just one if statement. So what we need to do is we need access to our collider. We need access to our player's box collider because we want to check if this box collider is touching the ground, because we can't check that with the rigid body, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a private box collider 2D, which we'll call box collider. We'll just call this collider. And if you remember, same way we did it here, I'm just going to come down here and say collider equals get component collider, box collider 2D, sorry. It is very easy just to initialize this, and I think instead of collider, I'll just call it col, C-O-L, and this is showing me an error because the name is incorrect. Alright, now it's really just one line of code. So we can nest this if statement inside another if statement. So we can cut this out, remember cut, and we can say if col dot is touching layers. And now remember the name we gave to the layer, which was ground. Oh wait, no, we have to do layer mask dot get mask, and you can pass in the name of the mask. And if you remember, we named ours ground. And an other way of doing this is coming to the top and creating a serialized field, private layer mask, and we will call this ground, and we set this needs to go to a new layer mask. And now here, instead of doing this, we can just assign this in the inspector, which is very neat. So I'll delete this. We can just put in here, we can just put in ground. And now just paste in our jumping code. So what essentially is this doing is it's checking if our collider, which is this box collider our player has attached to it. So what it's going to do, let me run down the code. So it's going to say get the box collider, and how do we get it? Here it's just initializing it, and here it's saying collider is equal to getting the component off of this player, which is of type box collider 2D. This code is just checking something out. That is not meant to be there. Right, so it's just going to say we're going to get the box collider 2D off of the game object that this script is attached to. And in our jump here, we're going to say if this collider is touching the layer ground, then we are all well and dandy to jump. So if I were to save this, head back over into Unity, let it take its time to load. If I were to hit play, whenever it decides to start the game, that'll be nice. Now if I were to hit jump, as you can see, I am unable to jump. And why is that? Let me just go and check. That is because I have been dumb and I have forgot to initialize what ground is. So we need to make sure we've initialized ground to be that new layer we've created. Now if I were to hit space, you can see we can only jump once. I'm trying to spam my space button, but we're only allowed to jump once, and I think that's very neat. Another thing you can do with layers, other than just having a concept of what is what, you can head over to your project settings, which is, if you don't remember, edit project settings. And in your physics 2D, if you scroll down, you can control what layer can collide with what layer. So the ground can collide with one of the following tags, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I think that is it. That is all I had planned for this video. Don't forget to save Unity. And yeah, I think I will see you in the next video. Peace.